But I get where that's coming from now. Anyways, though, moving on to the next topic, the Jacksonville Jaguars, who apparently spent a ton of money on Nick Foles, are reportedly looking to trade him, and they want to start Gardner Minshew, the one that ended up backing him up and then starting throughout the year, and was very, very well liked in the NFL and I guess the Jacksonville community, all the way from his Joe Dirt antics, all the way from that to having the Gardner Minshew jorts, shorts, maybe, whatever. But yeah, obviously with that much money in the contract, I don't think I'd be willing to, if I'm a team that's looking for Nick Foles, I don't think I'm going to agree unless if Jacksonville ends up eating a good portion of that contract, because he signed for 4 years and $88 million. Yeah, to be fair, though, in 2021, which I believe would be next season, not this season. Yeah, it'd be after this season, he does have an out. So why wouldn't you just, especially if he has an out, why wouldn't you just wait until after this season? Although you're obviously going to have his morale down.
I think they just want
to start.
They want to win now, or they just feel like if they let Gardner Minshew just sit and him not get any playing time, that he's going to. I don't want to say wear and tear, but he's going to lose his magic, his flair, his pizzazz. So they probably just, like, hey, we made a mistake, but we didn't make a mistake while getting this trade for Nick Foles and not knowing what we had here in Garner. So I just believe that Jacksonville they want to do it now.
And even from the perspective of a money perspective, do you think if you're a team that's looking for Nick Foles, you'd probably want to end up having Jacksonville eat some of that money. He'd get owed what? Doing quick math, 50, 63. I'm not even good at math. 53 maybe, then 75. 75 would be like 89, so that'd be roughly right. But yeah, I'm looking at the cap hit, not the base salary. So he was paid $5 million last year. This year he's getting paid $15 million, and $14.8 million, then $20 million. Obviously, from a money perspective, if I'm looking at it from the Jacksonville side, most teams are going to want to end up having you eat that money. You're going to end up having to pay him probably $46.1 million.
Ouch.
Just because that's what his out is after this year. But that's what you're going to have to do in the long run by the sounds of it. Moving on, though, I know it's very lost, but sometimes contract talk very well is interesting. Chad Johnson, the former Bengals Ocho Cinco wide receiver, said that his girlfriend ruined his life after he was put in the hospital.
Well, it depends on
according to TMZ.
Depends on their situation. And, homie, it takes two to tango. Stop playing victim. You could have left her, but you didn't.
But, wait, there's more.
Of course.
It was all a joke in the long run. It was just because she deleted his NBA 2K My Player.
Got him.
That's what he said in his tweet. That's why he said she ruined his life. TMZ ended up reporting he was in the hospital. Who knows if that's real or fake? That still could be a possibility, but at least he's with a light heart in the end. Honestly, I think that's really funny. Just because you don't... I'm really happy that you bid on that. Because,
they could have saved that for next month in April. Right?
But man, the NBA My Player mode, I don't know what would happen if mine would end up being deleted. I know in my Madden, some dumbass, me, ended up somehow deleting and losing his guy that had 50 touchdowns in an NFL season for Madden. No idea where he went. He's off into cyberspace now. Justin Fields I created, and now he's gone. Just like Aaron Hernandez. Wow, that was a terrible joke, but that's literally just the podcast is terrible jokes. Yeah, I don't care. But yeah, I don't know how I'd feel. Riggs, if somebody ended up deleting your WWE Universe mode, how would you feel?
I'd be pissed the fuck off because Oh my God. Oh, see, yeah. I'll be mad if my universe mode got deleted because I put in so much work into storylines and to the attires that they wear, and then I edit my shows and all that. Like you just fucked up a whole year of mine in my video game world that helps me escape reality. So
Didn't you make highlight videos too?
you damn right. And yep.
And that was all in due source because of some weird green grass. Meaning weed. Lastly, on the NFL topic, the LA Chargers do have plenty of options at quarterback. Obviously, Phillip Rivers is out. Now they have the possibility of Jameis Winston. According to Mike Schneed on Twitter, he broke it down as if they got Winston, it's a win now option. He'll be the most pricey. Teddy Bridgewater, he'd be the complete opposite of Phillip Rivers. He wouldn't be a gunslinger. He'd be more conservative, more short gains, running the ball. They could just go with the first round pick. That'd be the cheapest option. They could go with Justin Herbert, Love, Eason, guys that are showing up really well in the combine. Or lastly, they could go with Brady. Brady's the hometown guy. Kind of speaks for itself. I guess obviously everyone, even us, we'd be biased and probably say Tom Brady, but without a bias, not including Tom Brady, who would you, if you were a Chargers fan, would like at quarterback? Would you rather draft somebody and build them, or would you rather have a Jameis Winston or Teddy Bridgewater?
So basically, would I want someone who's developed or bring in someone to develop?
Correct. And that's going to start immediately, essentially.
That's a tough one coming from a Browns fan. Right now, honestly, after having someone like Phillip Rivers that's been your top dog for so long in the face of your franchise, I honestly think that you go young and you have a youth movement and you draft somebody and you keep that quarterback and you keep his confidence and you develop him. And if it doesn't work out in 5 or 6 years, then let the man walk.
Or, I mean, even if you have a Mitch Trubisky case, you just hope for somebody to be a free agent in the end, or else just sign a veteran that can back them up. There's plenty out there that you don't really have to go that route, that you could go that route and have a decent backup with this year's QB class. But at this time, we're going to take one more commercial break. We're going to end up having one more of our sponsors jump in, and we'll be back after this break, and we have baseball and wrestling. Back after this on the We Like Sports podcast.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, just like us. It's everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Are you interested in a comedy and media-centric podcast hosted by two broke college kids? They're just trying to have fun while the whole world crumbles apart around us. You could find them on Anchor, Spotify, and Google Podcasts just by searching Singularity Point Podcast, and they'll pop up. Again, just search Singularity Point Podcast on Anchor, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. They post every Friday. Make sure to tune in. And back on the We Like Sports podcast for the last segment of the day. Obviously, if you're not tuning in now, you missed out on NBA, XFL, NFL. But I don't know why you'd be tuning in now. It's almost the end of the podcast. So why don't you end up going back and listening to the podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, coming up on Thursday. Anyways, though, as we get things started, why don't we talk about the Cleveland Indians? Cleveland Indians, they have their home opener at the end of March. Unfortunately, it's at the end of March. Riggs, how's the weather like usually at the end of March in Cleveland?
The weather in Cleveland at the end of March, I would like to say it's very, very wishy-washy, flip-floppy, bipolar, whatever you want to call it, that doesn't seem like itself. And that's no disrespect to people that are bipolar, just in term and expression. But you